Hello everyone, hi, this is Swati Singhania and we are back with another video. Now we have been getting super great response on all the videos that we've done on personal finance, and I think everyone's finding it very interesting that we are bringing in videos especially for our business owners there. So our current series of videos is completely out there for those business owners friends who time and again find various difficulties in their businesses, and especially for people who are from non-finance background or people who think now that they are from non-finance background in spite of being from finance backgrounds. So this video particularly is like a following section for the video that we did on business plan. Now in the business plan video we talked about a section where you have to put out your financial projections. The first and the most important thing in the financial projection is about projecting your revenues. Once you have projected your sales, it's like 30-40% of your work on financial projections is done. And even if not for business plan, you need revenue projection for you to figure out your pathway for the next 1 year, for the next 2 years for that matter. Even on New Year's Day, or let's say the financial New Year's Day, which is 1st of April, when you sit with your organization and your people, you should know what is the amount of sales you want for that particular year, what is the amount of growth you are targeting in that year and in the next years to come forward. And for that you should know what revenue projections are and how can you actually do revenue projections. So revenue projections are not just needed when you are projecting or when you're giving out your business plan to people. It is also needed for your own self when you are deciding what your strategy as the owner and as the promoter of that organization should be. How much expansion you are planning in this year. If you're planning to double your revenue in the next 2 years, you better have a very strong backup for either increasing your production or hiring more people, depending on what structure of your organization is. So for you to design your strategy, the revenue projection is the critical and the most important element. Let's start going in as to how to do your revenue projections. So some theory first. What is a revenue projection? Revenue is basically the result of the quantity and the sales price or the rate. So while we are doing the revenue projections, we have to break it between doing the projections for the quantity and the volume, and then doing the projections for the sales price or the value of the product. Now, quantity projection, why is it needed? Quantity for manufacturing and trading organizations is comparatively simpler. If you are a manufacturing organization, for you to project your quantity, you should know what is the size of your production capacity. How much, so can you produce 1 lakh pieces a month or can you produce 10,000 pieces a month? What is the utilization of your capacity? If you have a 10 lakh per month capacity, how much are you using? Are you making 2 lakh per month or are you making 8 lakh per month? So if you're not using your capacity completely, you have a lot of scope for doubling your revenue. But you are using up most of your capacity. That means for you to double your revenue, the first thing which is needed is for you to put up another manufacturing outlet, or let's say another line of production for that matter. For trading companies, if you are deciding on your quantity projection, you should know what product are you planning to sell more, because for you it's extremely important to decide on that particular product which you think will sell more and why will it sell more. Let's say you are into mineral trading. If you think that the next 5 years are going to be a boom in the infrastructure and steel industry, you know iron is going to sell like crazy. So similarly, you have to decide which product are you trading, why do you think it is going to grow, and which particular aspect of your whole trading segment is going to grow. Now, if you are someone who is in the service industry, for you, quantity is basically the number of clients. So if you are serving 100 clients currently every month and you are on a retainership basis with 100 clients and you want to grow or double your revenue for the next 2 years, you have to just double this 100 to 200 or at least double it to some extent, 70-80% for you to double your revenues. So that is how you have to first think. So it's basically so what I'm trying to say is that the whole revenue projection, the thought process of revenue projection has to be broken into smaller segments. So for quantity, let's decide on that. Now for quantity, what other aspects can decide of what growth of quantity can you make? Which product are you selling? What is the industry it is catering to? What is your target audience? So taking the steel example, if you are someone who is into trading of minerals, let's say iron, and you're supplying to steel. So if the steel industry, which is then dependent on the infrastructure and real estate, if infrastructure and real estate is going to grow, steel will grow and so will you grow. However, if this industry is going to go through a slump in the next 5 years, it is going to be very difficult for you to at least grow in the iron segment. Maybe you can focus on some other mineral that you trade in, which can see some growth in the next 5 years. If you are someone who is into packaging industry and you think FMCG is going to grow like crazy in the next 5-10 years, then yes, you will, because you think you are largely supplying to FMCG. But let's say if you are into packaging, but you are again supplying to tire manufacturers and you think that vehicle and automobile industry is not going to grow so much, then you, in spite of being in the packaging industry, will not see that growth. So your target industry is extremely important and you need to understand numbers of that. Now, second could be you've just expanded your geography. You were only selling in one particular state in the country, now you're selling to 5. Or let's say you were only supplying in North India, now you're also supplying to South India. Let's say you were only selling in India, now you're selling across the globe, or you've added 5 more countries to it. So your expansion of geography is going to be very, very important when you're deciding on the quantity, and it can be a great impact creator for you to decide on the quantities. The third factor which could affect your growth is also your particular expansion of number of outlets. So let's say you are someone who's in a retail industry and you had 10 showrooms till last year. This year you are adding 5 more showrooms. So obviously it is expected that your revenue would at least grow by 40-50%. So these are some of the very important factors which could impact your quantity. And last but not the least, a basic growth of 10-20% is always expected. Even if you have no expansion plans, it is the most hygiene requirement of any business is that you will at least grow by basic 10-20%. If you were selling 100 units last month, you would want to sell 110. It's that simple ratio. So do take into account that 10-20% growth factor. So these all, once you've done analysis of all these factors, this is going to give you the growth in your quantity. Now let's come to the second factor, which is the pricing of your product. So what are the factors which can affect the pricing of the product? The pricing of the product can be impacted by the basic inflation in the country, or in particularly your country. Let's say you're selling chocolates and sugar has doubled its price. So the prices of chocolates will also increase because your most important raw material, which is sugar, has gone up. Secondly, a basic increase of 10-20% in prices is always there. The same product which you were buying last year for 500 rupees will become 505 or 510, and you will not even notice that price has gone up by that particular minute amount, because that is something that is easily absorbed by your consumers and they don't even notice. So that 5-10% is there. Now comes the analysis of why and how can you really increase the sale price of your product. If you have changed the quality of the product that you were offering, if you have changed the quantity of the packaging, so let's say you were giving a 10 kg jar and now you're giving a 12 kg jar. Let's say you're giving a 10 kg jar and now you're giving 8 kg jar. So you can continue the same pricing, but maybe that 10 kg can come down to 8 kg, and obviously the detail on the packaging also has to change. The third thing which can really impact your pricing is how do you think your product is now placed in the market. So let's say till 3 years back you only had 5% market share, and so you had to keep your prices low because you had to enter the market. but now you've reached a 20 to 30% market share, and you think you have a particular say in the in the market and in the industry, you can think of taking a premium. A lot of times your competitors are not doing well, so you've reached a place where you're kind of in a monopolistic mode. So that is the place where you can actually charge higher. But remember, if you charge too high, your consumers will move out as quickly as they get another option. So don't kill them. Never charge so high that they don't want to use your product. Your pricing has to be the correct balance of, it's a trade-off between maintaining that consumer loyalty and your profit aspirations. So do not forget, you have a responsibility towards your consumers too. So just because your competitors are not working, don't start charging double the price. You can only charge that much which you think your consumers can absorb, and they will not sacrifice their faith and loyalty towards you because you're charging that amount of extreme pricing. The fourth is also, which is kind of your goodwill. Have you set your brand? Which is also, like similar to your market share. Is your brand known? If your brand is known, you can always charge a little higher, which is basically the premium for the investment that you've done in your product. If you have been advertising and you've been scaling up your brand value, yes, you can increase. I've seen some of the brands, they used to hire, let's say, the local brand ambassador, local actors. Then they moved up to hiring national actors and actresses. Their prices went up by 20% because they thought they have a better brand placement now, and so they can charge a higher value. Also because they needed to recover the cost that they were putting in the advertisements, okay? So these are some of the factors which can affect your pricing of the product that you're selling. So last but not the least, once you have done the projection for your quantity, and once you've done the projection for your sales prices, a multiplier effect of that will give you the annual revenue for your company, and this will then lead you to the other factors as to how can you save your expenses, how can you save your cost for you to increase your profitability. And now during revenue projection, if you decided that, okay, next year we are going to increase our prices by 20% because I think our goodwill will reach that value, then remember, you have to invest in accordingly. You have to do the back end work also. Either you have to hire a super great brand ambassador to promote your product, you have to increase the quality of your product, you have to increase the geography of your product. So you have to back work also. So this is basically the starting point for your future planning, and that is why revenue projection is extremely important. It is not very difficult. It may look like that it's a big work. You can always hire a specialist for you to do work, for you to do these revenue projections for you. But let me tell you, if you've gone through this video, it has enabled you to do your own projection, and you can do this. I have faith in you, and you should have faith in yourself too. I hope that these videos are adding value to your life, and they are making you a little more financially enabled that you were yesterday, and a better entrepreneur and more champion of your business that you're doing. Please like, share and subscribe our channel, and please send us your suggestions. I keep saying I hope this is adding value to your life. The only purpose of this channel is to enable you more and more. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Swati Singhania. Bye-bye.